I just want to introduce Donald and Lewis. They are partners in Business Finance Pros. Really some awesome things these guys have put together, helped a lot of people over the last, how many years have you been doing this, Lewis?
Oh God. So technically since 1993. So actually we're going on 31 years in total in the business, finance, and credit space.
Mm.
Awesome. Awesome. Very
Yeah.
cool.
So I've been around the block a couple of times, you can tell.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, yeah, if you guys want to kind of just get started and kind of
Sure.
show everybody what we have here, and excited to have you, and
Absolutely.
thank you guys all for joining us on a Thursday night. I know everybody's busy and it's Christmas holidays and stuff, so appreciate taking the time out of your day and your night to be here tonight. So yeah, take it away, Lewis.
You
Sure.
make him host.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, you got to make me host, please. I'm going to share my screen in just a little bit.
Oh yeah, I will
Um,
do that right
eh,
now.
yeah. Other than that, just as a brief introduction, I mean, at the end of the day, what it is, being in the business, finance, and credit space again since 1993. I mean, there's been a lot of developments, and the reason why we're in this is because the number one problem business business owners have, is access to capital, cash flow. And when you think you find a solution at a long term, it may be, there's some immediate solutions, but in reality, the long-term play, it actually works against you. Whether you have good credit, bad credit, everything, it doesn't really matter when it comes to building out a business credit profile. There's someone else. There's a Larry coming on in. Let me just admit him in. Is it okay if I admitted Larry in, by the way?
Of course, yeah. Larry is welcome.
All right. Hey, Larry, welcome aboard. So as I was saying, my biggest obstacle, or let's say my biggest um, um, kind of job in the last 30 years have been in the business credit and finance space. And the biggest challenges business owners have is access to capital. Now, in the last 10 or 15 years, there's been a lot of different financial and alternative products that have come. I'm sorry.
Larry may have to mute. Shit, my
Yeah.
bad.
All right, there we go. We're good. All right. So the biggest challenges in the last 10 or 15 years, there's been, a slew of different type of financing options available there, whether you have good credit or limited credit, made access to capital a little bit easier, but it's also incredibly expensive. And one hidden secret that's always existed is that there is a way that you can build a credit profile under an EIN of a business, as opposed to using your personal social security number. Not only that, the lack of knowledge from business owners, because this is not their wheelhouse, right? Everyone here, we're good on our own trades, right? But when it comes to the finance, I would say after 30 years, been around the block a few times, I got to tell you, there's a lot of different avenues you can go to access capital, and build this cash flow necessary to sustain and operate a business. That's what we've basically have developed, is a system on how to build a business credit profile under the EIN of your business, unassociated to your personal credit, personal social security number. Not only does it build credit, but now you're also separating your personal assets from your business assets. You're separating the two things. So to give you some kind of real world scenario here, let me give you one main example. The easiest one to say is this: you can have perfect credit, and having perfect credit, you can go down to your local bank and say, "Hey, I want to apply for a credit card." Now, 99% of the time, you're going to end up entering your social security number, because that's how the banks function, right? The 99% of every bank out there requires a personal guarantee. There's a subset of banks that don't require it, but they're not the commonly known banks as your Bank of America, Chase, Regions. They're designed to take a personal guarantor. So you have to enter your personal social security number. Now, you may not have a problem with that. Credit's so great, you don't have a problem with that. So let's go down that path and get a bunch of credit cards so that we can operate our business. Now, the problem is that even though you solve the immediate solution, which is having these credit cards in your hand, a piece of plastic that says your business name on it, is tied to you personally. So in a normal course of business, as you're operating your business, and I can tell you how we operate our business, everything goes on the charge card, if you will, throughout the month. And at the end of the month, we liquidate what we can liquidate. It's just how it works. Now, if that card was on my personal name, if anything about business credit is important, right, most people here probably know this, is that utilization plays a huge role in your personal credit. What means is that if you have $100 credit card and you use over $30, because it's 30%, that's the threshold. If you use over $30 of that $100, it now negatively impacted your credit score. Your FICO's gone down. So what happens is you can have a perfect credit score when you first got your business, but as you're utilizing your business and operating your business and you're charging on to things, that's now going onto your personal credit, and your personal FICO score has gone down and down and down. So now your challenges are that you're paying everything just fine, everything is being paid on time, but your utilization is so high that your FICO score drops from a 750, go down to, I've seen as low as sub 500 score, and yet everything's been paid perfectly fine. Just your utilization is very high. So again, Band-aid to the problem. If you have perfect credit, go get yourself a credit card at your local bank. No problem. Here's now a $20,000 credit limit. You just personally guarantee. What we do is we focus on building out the business's credit profile with accredited vendors that report to the Business Credit Bureau, such as Duns & Bradstreet, Experian Business, Equifax, Credit Safe, Ansonia, checks systems, LexisNexis. Honestly, I could spit out a bunch of names here that you guys probably have even never heard of. These are credit reporting agencies for businesses. Check systems is for banks, right? They know if you overdrafted last month on another, with another lender, another banking institution. So there's ways we build out your business credit profile with accredited vendors that, after a period of an average of, I would say, 8 months or so, we're slowly building it out. We got to crawl before we can walk. But we put you in a position in that time period that now you can walk in. I'm sorry, you can walk into a car dealership, purchase a car just under your EIN if you needed it. We obtain credit cards, Visas, MasterCards, American Express, all under just the business's EIN number, and charge along as you like and use it responsibly, of course. I'm not saying, go to Vegas. Use it responsibly and use it, the utilization, as much as you like, because it's not affecting your personal credit. It's unassociated completely. You've separated your assets, so you're personally protected, and your business is functioning on its own 2 feet. So in a nutshell, and I'm sorry it was a little longer than I expected, but that is the nutshell of what we do. At the end of the day, we access businesses an average of $100,000 to $150,000 of business credit cards that they can utilize to help you flourish, help you manage your business, manage your cash flows a little bit better. So real quick, maybe I'll just open it up a little bit for some questions from anybody. We'll take it from there.
Yeah. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, just unmute yourself and fire away. All right.
If not,
while you all are thinking, I will just, per the SBA too, I know sometimes, 8, 9 months might seem a little lengthy, but per the SBA, this takes the average business owner 2 to 5 years to accomplish. These institutions, they're not very eager to lend, money out without a personal guarantor. So they make the process very strenuous. There's a lot of details that need to be done to build up the credibility of your business in order to secure, those credit lines without the personal guarantor.
Yeah,
Yep.
Very good point. Very good point.
Okay, so I got a question real quick. So in a service like this, what you guys are gonna do is pretty much find anything, make us like a white glove, pretty much in front of the bank. So that way, you're gonna fix any indiscrepancies that will take about 6 to 8 months. Once those things are fixed, and once those things are good to go, then we go in front of a bank with the EIN number at some point, and they will get access to business capital. Correct? So how it works?
In a nutshell, so yeah, that's a little bit.
Yes.
I mean, yes. Let's put it like this.
Condensed. That was pretty condensed, but yes.
So that's a very condensed version. But let's be clear. And I'm going to share my my screen in just a moment, guys. First of all,
Okay.
everything that we do is not just a consultation purpose. After 30 years, we've actually been able to develop this as a science. Okay, so we know the vendors to go to. We know at what point to go to them. We know what point to ask for increases, and we know how to ask for the credit, if you will, right? So there's a guide here, right? Now, created this a system. So what we do is we developed a system. It's a 6-step process that we literally take you step by step. I'm sorry, while I'm talking to you, I'm just adding people into the discussion. So I apologize for the interruption. But as we build out in our 6-step process, we take it everything from the granular level of all your business credibility points. So you understand what happens is that underwriters are looking at everything of your business, especially if it's only under an EIN and there's no PG involved. PG is personal guarantor. They want to make sure that you're credible. They want to make sure that you're meeting certain points. For example, you have a legitimate address, you have a legitimate business, the spelling is correct, the way it's spelled, what SIC codes you have, if you're reporting on Duns and Bradstreet, under what umbrella. I mean, there's so many moving parts. So the foundational aspect is everything. And anybody here that's in construction knows what I mean. You can build a beautiful house, but if the foundation that you built it on is no good, that house is falling down. Period. End of story. Same thing when it comes to business credit. And we do take it to the granular level. It's not where we're just simply releasing you some vendors and go apply and build it that way. No, we literally have a credit advisor that's assigned to you and is literally walking you through our 6-step process. And I'm going to share my screen now if I recall how to use Zoom. Yes.
One question though, you don't wait like the 6 to 8 months to get the credit, like you're getting credit along the way throughout that whole process.
Oh, that's absolutely correct. So let me just give you an idea of how this 6-step process works. So the step one is foundational. So there's about 30 days of getting, well, not even, there's about 2 weeks of just getting all the foundational information correct. Okay, making sure you have a website, you have a business email, you're not using a Yahoo or a Gmail, you're not home based. I don't mean go rent an office. There's other ways to solve that, but you got to be bank credible. Now, once we get you bank credible and you're meeting these guidelines, then we're going to update that information across 100 different platforms. And I mentioned a few of those that underwriting teams look at to validate your business information. And that information needs to be congruent everywhere. I can't have one address on one platform and a different address on another platform. That obviously says, hey, this is not happening. And that 30 years that I'm telling you of experience, let me tell you what most of that's been. It's been a third-party agency. I've served as a third-party agency for a lot of these federally regulated banks, such as Chase, Bank of America. And we go in there as an audit agency to make sure that they're meeting compliance standards, whatever they are. And they got to go through this every year, by the way. One of those things that we do is obviously when it comes to credit. So and you talk to these underwriters, and this hasn't changed in 30 years. So this is their model. Okay, this is the motto that underwriters use: when in doubt, decline. So it may sound a little bit funny or maybe a little weird, right? Well, what do you mean by that? Listen, there is not a funding company, a lending institution that has ever hired a underwriter under the guise of underwriter. It's called risk mitigation. Right? They're not hiring you to approve applications. You're being hired to decline them, to identify the loopholes, identify the mismatches, and decline. So, in other words, an underwriter doesn't get fired, let's say, if you will, for declining. He gets fired if he approved incorrectly. So, all these data points we got to meet. Now, that takes about 30 days for us to update all this information. Once all this done, that we've met credibility standards, and now we've updated that information across all the different platforms, then we go about in step 3 and start creating the trade lines. And you notice that we just go step by step here. So, foundational information, and we're just giving you the basic overview. By the time that we're in step 3, we now actually start building trade lines with approved vendors that report. Now, in a perfect world, every vendor reports to every credit bureau. And part of the perfect world is that every single underwriter looks at the very same platform to identify if you have trades. It's not the case. Some vendors report to Duns and Bradstreet, some vendors report to Experian, some to LexisNexis, on and on and on. So we get you the right mix of vendors and where they report to, so that we get an equal mix across all the different business credit bureaus, and we build out your credit profile in a scientific fashion. All this is done, by the way, not because we're giving you instructions. You literally have an assigned credit advisor that's walking you through this process. They're actually doing a lot of the heavy lifting. It was funny when we developed this system, we started high-fiving each other because, hey, we got this, kick-ass platform that's walking you through all this information. And we realized that we're dealing with business owners. And God bless you, but as a business owner, you guys don't have time to focus on this. You got to focus on your business. So we realized that no, they need somebody to actually walk them through the process, and manage a lot of the heavy lifting. And credit advisors do a lot of the heavy lifting, such as getting in contact with Secretary of State, preparing some documents or forms that need to be maybe amended. When it comes to getting a vendor to approve a trade line specifically, sometimes we even have to get on the phone with them.
Disputing things.
Disputing things all the time. I was actually on a call with a client earlier, and as added services, like we're obviously in the credit world. I mean, we're even doing a favor and just sending out a few dispute letters on the personal side, just because we need to make it work on the business side. So it gets a little convoluted, and as a business owner, you guys don't got time for this. You guys want to just have somebody help you build this stuff out. Look, I've been in this world for 30 years, but I got to tell you, it's pretty boring, even for me. So I can only imagine for somebody that's not really in this world, really doesn't have all that information out there. They don't know. As a business owner and as an individual in general, when you need a loan, when you need, capital, well, you go down to your local bank. You go down to your Bank of America, you go down to your Chase. The fact of the matter is that banks are not in the lending business. Sure as hell not to business owners. You got to understand that, over 70% of all businesses fail in the first 5 years. That's an incredibly high risk for a bank. But they're not interested in lending money to businesses. Now, there's a special subset of banks that do focus on that, predicated that you have a good business profile, everything is matching, you've built out your credit profile, correctly, you have all the access to capital that you need. Just got to know where to go find it. And that's what our resource provides you. Now, I'm not trying to say that simply just because we have all these, specialized lenders. Look, you can get a bunch of these on your own, knock yourself out, just do a quick Google search. But you're going to find out the problem is that you can go straight to, in this case, Bank of America. As you can tell, personal guarantee is required. So basically, you're not really doing much for yourself. You'll find out that you get a lot more people closing the doors on you than opening the doors. With the guidance of a credit advisor that's walking you through this process and knowing exactly when to trigger a certain event and when to apply for a certain vendor is exactly what you need. It'll save you time, save you aggravation, and let you focus on what you want to do, which is making money for your company, for yourself. That makes sense, guys?
And more, these days, as business credit is becoming more prevalent, I'm sure people here on social media, you see it more and more every day, just people discussing, business credit. Even a lot of these lending institutions now are starting to take into consideration your business credit profile when they're giving you, when they're giving you approvals. They'll look at your personal credit, they'll look at your revenue, and they will look to see, for example, Credibly is a very credible company that is good at cash advances, and now they actually look at your business credit profile in order to secure approvals for you.
And not only that, actually, in 2021, Federal Trade Commission actually gave a report, and I'll be more than happy to send it to everybody. And, did a publication, that is. And I'll be more happy to share with everybody on how they were insisting on business credit providers such as Duns & Bradstreet, Experian Business, to provide them a accountability of how they report, of what their guidelines are, if you will. Very close and similar to personal credit. Why is this happening? Because it's coming down the pipeline. Business credit is just as important especially for small businesses that are trying to access capital. So even the Federal Trade Commission is coming in and saying, okay, well, we want to overhaul this, and we want you guys to give us some kind of accountability on how you guys are reporting your business credit so that we can make, let's say, a certain model here. We're, like I said earlier, we're also in the lending, side of things, right? We provide capital to businesses. And if there's one thing that we've noticed in the last few years is more and more lenders are putting it as a criteria that they're checking business credit, but more importantly, that they're also reporting to business credit. And that's actually really, really important. So there's a lot of ways you can dissect that information, and how it applies to you. But again, access to capital is the most important thing. That you need. Cash flow is a very important component of any business. And this is a great way to create cash flow, to have that extra funds available. I mean, anybody here can ask themselves, what would an extra $20,000, credit card, or access to $20,000, whether it be on a Visa, MasterCard, and cover some bills, how would that impact your business, for fuel, for materials, for the next job? When you think about it, it's cash flow is everything. Cash is king. We've all heard of that. And access to capital for a business is the same type of thing, right? I mean, if I have access to capital, there's no stopping me. There's nothing I cannot do in my business as long as I have capital to do it.
Darren had a very good question in the chat, Lewis, we should address.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did.
Yeah, no, I know. So just making sure we didn't go too far down without addressing that, because it's a great question. Are you able to see it? Do you want to read it?
Please read it. And
This is, well, first of all, sorry he can't use his mic, but he used Fund and Grow back in 2021 to get almost $200,000 worth of funding under one LLC that he owns. Sorry. Those cards have pretty high utilization right now. What are the odds I could use a second LLC to get more credit and possibly balance transfer balances to new cards, save interest? The two LLCs have different addresses.
we're actually, you brought up two interesting points to this question. I'm going to attack both of them. So the first one is the company you utilize. It's called Fund and Grow. So we're very well aware of who Fund and Grow is. Now, earlier you heard me talking about how you can PG credit cards and get those credit cards in your hands quickly. The disadvantage is that it's affecting your personal credit. I'm sorry, there's someone else coming in. So in that world, you served as a personal guarantor. You're required to have a 680 FICO score when you first enrolled in that program, and then obviously while they're getting you these cards, it'll drop down to under 600. But yeah, you got the 200 grand. Great, perfect. When you're building business credit, you can build as many business credit profiles as you like. Just you have a different EIN number. Like I said, this credit profile is based off of the EIN of your business. So unlike a social that you can only have one, right? EINs, you can have as many as you like. We have a lot of clients that have a lot of different companies, have a multitude of companies and different LLCs, different entities, different EIN, and we build their credit profile individually on each EIN. The only difference, again, here's a pro and the con. So the pro with, let's say, a Fund and Grow is that, yeah, it's pretty quick, right? Within a month, 2 months, you get, you got your 200 grand. But you serve it as a personal guarantor. And like you're saying, there's also a high utilization. So that in itself, I'm sure is having your personal credit affected by that because it's reflecting on your personal credit. Now, the balance transfers, yes, that applies to those are just card benefits, right? Many cards providers, provide you with, balance transfers, some at 0% for introductory rate of, 0% for the first 3 months. Obviously, they just want to be able to charge you interest once those 3 months are over, right? But balance transfers is something typical, pretty commonplace nowadays on credit card providers. Transfer over your balances to our card. And yes, you can do that. So that is a strategy. And yes, that's a strategy that a lot of our clients utilize. Because again, a lot of our clients come to us and they're like, hey, I pay everything perfect, but it's all under my business. It's all under my personal name. So I can't even refinance my house. I can't even go and finance a Hyundai. because I got, such a low FICO score, right? And it shows me that I'm so overextended. In reality, these are just business expenses. So can, you build out the credit profile on my business, and then phase two, even after going through the 6-step process, is okay, let's now get you the cards that, allow for balance transfers, and let's transfer these credit cards that you have secured under your personal name. Let's put them under the business. And if anything, it obviously boosts up your score because now you've alleviated that utilization on your personal credit.
Yeah, Darren did just chime in that he actually did do the right thing, and he did go through the Funding Grow program through the business EIN platform. So he actually has the experience. So the answer is definitely yes then. Darren, you can do numerous businesses. They're not associated to you. They look at the EIN numbers. So you would be able to do like this.
Sorry,
Hey guys, mind if I jump in with a question?
Of course.
So yeah, it sounds like you guys are pretty experienced with business credit cards, but are there banks out there that are willing to give out term loans in a similar way where they really only take a business credit profile into account versus a PG?
very, very good question. So let me be clear. We're referring to business credit cards. Anybody that tells you that you can get a loan without serving as a personal guarantor, that's not true. And I don't want to come off and say that. Every financial institution, when it comes to hard loans, are going to require a personal guarantor. Now, the differences are, though, we do also have a network of lenders, as we say, because like we do focus on business credit. The lenders that we work with, even though they will request a PG, even though they will check personal credit, they don't report to the personal credit. In other words, the loan will not appear on your personal credit. They only appear on your business credit. That's a very good question. I want to be very clear. I'm in no way are we trying to say that you can walk into your local Bank of America and say, "Hey, I got perfect credit, perfect business credit, so give me a loan, and I'm not going to serve as a PG." They're not going to say. They're going to say, "No, we'll pass." When you want a PG, then come back.
Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I was just having trouble determining. I hear a lot about credit cards, but there's not a lot of info out there about business loans and how EINs play into that. So, yeah, thanks for the answer.
Sure. Yeah, you got to remember, probably 80% of the business loans out there are unsecured, meaning, no collateral, nothing tied to it. So at the very least, they're going to want a PG.
Any other questions, guys?
There was some pricing questions, but I do believe that Michael responded to them.
Okay. Well, just in case,
If anybody does want to.
I'm going to just recite Anton's response here. So the cost of the program is $34.97, $3,500. 20% goes to the affiliate. And remember, that includes not only the system, and by the way, the system, the clients keep forever. There's no expiration date on this. Okay. So it's always there. The directory is always accessible. The directory is constantly being updated. We literally have a team that all they do is keep the information fresh because vendors change policies, and I would sometimes venture to say on a daily basis. It changes. Things change. So we're constantly keeping that directory available, keeping it fresh, keeping it, up to date. And we've seen people, we haven't seen them, log in for over, we just see the data points, obviously, but they don't log in for over 6 months. And then all of a sudden they log in, and it's just accessing our directory because at that point now they're on their own. They're pretty comfortable with how the system works. And they just want to see, well, what's the next vendor that I can access? And we got some businesses that say, hey, you know what, Louis, if I just created, $75,000, if I just had access to $75,000 in credit cards that, I can help me manage my business, that lets me sleep easy at night so that I know that if I have a hiccup, if I have, heaven forbid, a pandemic that I'm forced to shut down for a few weeks or lay off some employees or so forth, there's some cash there. There's some reserves there that I can tap into to stay afloat. and I'll deal with, the debt later, but I have a way to pay my bills. And I sleep easy at night. And then I have other clients come back and be like, hey, listen, yeah, 200 is great, but that covers me maybe just for this month. I need more, right? And you can get more. I mean, there's so many there are a lot of banks, even though it's like 1 to 3% of all the banks out there that focus specifically on businesses. Trust me, that's well over 100 different providers that are more than happy to issue you a credit card under the business name, under just the EIN. And again, those high limits range anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000. American Express, we all know the story that there's no limit. Well, technically, there is, but you can access as much capital as you want.
And I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume, I also did see Max behind the wheel, so I'm going to assume that there are quite a few in the logistics industry, perhaps on this call. This is an amazing tool for, that industry.
Oh,
Not only do we get you, all of these, access to the cash credit lines, but we get you also gasoline and fleet cards. So, this allows you to, carry your gas costs over and over. We know a lot of you guys are on net 30, 60, 90s where you're waiting for, your return. And this just allows you to continue to operate. And, again, not be on the utilization of your personal credit just for something as simple as gas.
yeah, good point, Donnie. Great point. The fact is that the majority of our clients are usually in industries that run on either a net 30, net 60, and even net 90 type of turnaround, right? You got to, provide the service, and then you got to wait 30 days before you get paid, or 60 days before you get paid. And that's actually pretty typical in the logistics industry. So, gas isn't cheap. Fuel, petroleum, maintenance on your trucks, that's not cheap. And fleet cards. And what's the difference between a fleet card and a gas card? Just that. A fleet card not only covers your petroleum, but I'm sorry, fuel, but also covers, maintenance,
Repairs. Yep, repairs. All that.
repairs. And when you're working on a 30, 60-day receivable, if you got to shell out that in cash, I mean, that can really adversely affect your business and your ability to operate.
Yeah, I know. I'm just gonna throw out there, Rich, who's on the call right now. He talks about him and his family own a uniform shop, and he was just telling me, he's got customers, that he, gives credit to or whatever, and they don't pay him for 30 to 60 to 90 days, and sometimes it's even longer than that. So a lot of times, Rich could probably speak to this, but having the business credit like this allows him to operate his business, while he's waiting for a lot of these invoices to come in and stuff. Right,
Sure.
right, Rich.
Fills in those cash gaps, absolutely.
Yep.
Right.
Rich just got back in, so I think he missed some of this stuff.
Yeah, no, I was listening. My wife is cooking and she's got it on speaker, and I was just out for a minute. But yeah, it's what I'm seeing in the marketplace right now, as far as my business is concerned, is uh people are paying my clients late, which is making them pay me late,
Yeah, it's a trickle effect.
and it's a ripple effect
Oh,
in
it
the
sure is.
and all of my clients are crying the blues right now. I had one in my office the week before last say that he had a client that's been with him for almost 10 years, stiff him out of over $40,000. And I'm in the same boat because I have one that's been with me for about 7 years, that owes me 22,000 now, as of it was due in April. So it's times have changed. It's a struggle out there for everyone, pretty much across the board in all kinds of service businesses.
Sure.
It's wild. And retail,
Absolutely.
forget about it. Because we do service and retail sales are literally non-existent compared to what they were 3 years ago.
Yeah, you have your spikes like during the holidays and stuff, but your overall throughout the year, it's definitely down. And yeah, guys, look, at the end of the day, this is a product or a service, however you want to see it. Look at this as an insurance policy. That's basically how you should look at this. Just because of exactly what Rich says, you're we're always doing our job and we provide the service that we do with the expectation that we're going to not only get paid, but that we're going to get paid on time. But if you don't, you want to make sure that you have the security blanket to make sure that you can keep your business operating and obviously keep some cash in your pocket. Marwan, please, I would love for you to ask a question. What's up, brother?
Yeah, Luis, thank you. So I work with Antoine and Eric with them, and I went through Fund and Grow, and I'm happy to have like around 100,000 already in 0% credit card, which I want to use with their trucking program and just different other investments that I'm thinking of getting into at the beginning of the year. Now here's the big issue with Fund and Grow and the 0%. It's all for a year and a half. Now I'm getting close to the end of that. So after a year and a half, and I'm already exhausted a lot of the other banks, they have always round of funding. Do you guys do anything different that you could? Is the strategy you apply for other banks that we haven't tapped into continue that 1 year? Because, for example, I'll give you an example that Eric and Antoine come to a lot. Their trucking program is a 3-year commitment. So if somebody jumps in after a year and a half, what would they do to continue getting that 0% credit card to continue for 3 years? Do you get into a 5-year investment?
Open another LLC.
Yeah, I can kind of answer
So-
that too. I think Fund and Grow does renegotiate for you potentially after the year and a half, if your utilization is lower. And they do the 3 rounds of funding, which is great and stuff. So you can get another round of funding and then, just start over and just use those cards that are 0%. But also at the same time, I think most of the time, if you're going to use those, getting the business credit with the personal guarantee, without the personal guarantee, it's, potential to use that instead or just transfer those balances over. And a lot of times if you go back to the bank and say, hey, can you extend my 0%? A lot of times they might, but that's Lewis probably knows a little bit more about that too.
Yeah. So look, we have no control over which banks are offering a 0% program, right? I've seen them get turned on. I see them get turned off, and in different times of the year. So it depends really what their objective is. At the end of the day, your question of, can I get more, or are there a lot of lenders out there, or are there any other lenders out there that offer 0% financing or 0% credit cards for introductory type of rates? Yeah. Like I said, there's over 100 different lending institutions that issue credit cards to businesses and offer introductory rate. Unless you're telling me that you got all those 100 cards, okay, I would definitely say that there are some more cards available out there. It's a matter of looking for them.
Yeah, no, thank you for answering that. No, I mean, like, the strategy, right, that you guys might use with your program. It's the strategy. Well, here's the thing too, right? If I am, say, in the trucking program, it's 3 years, and some of my cards are already half utilization, or I'm paying them, they're not zeroed out. Wouldn't that affect me trying to get more cards to transfer the balance?
Well, similar to well, I'm going to piggyback off of Darwin's question earlier. So, was this are the cards that Fund and Grow gave you or got you, were they personally guaranteed, or they were just only under the EIN of your business? In other words, I'm trying to find out, where are you seeing that utilization other than on the statement? Are these cards reflecting on your personal credit? Because then utilization is a big factor. If they're reporting to your business credit, well, utilization isn't a factor. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Marlon, that's for you. Yeah.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I didn't know if you know that was directed to you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Marlon, what I
Anton,
mean is,
do you know about that?
Yeah, like I know when Damon, our partner, all the cards that he got, even though they were under his business, he still had a personal guarantee on those. I know. And then Darren's thought, he said that those cards that he got were only on the EIN. I didn't know that Fund and Grow did that. Maybe they do, where they do it only on your EIN. But I think most of the time they require a personal guarantee on that. I'm pretty sure.
you go to their website actually, and it says that on their we call it stacking
Yeah,
program.
credit card
That's
stacking,
end of the day
exactly.
what
That's
it
their
is, right?
program.
Yeah, they require a 680 FICO score and above. Now, that's not going to be a requirement if it's not because they're using if they're not using your personal social.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true too. Yep.
And-
Yeah,
and
It's literally on their site.
The other thing, Marwan,
Yeah.
is if you got a card with any carrier from May of this year and you haven't utilized that card at all, you might be able to contact them and ask them if they could start the 0% offer from the date that you first charge
Yeah,
the
I've done
card.
that. Mhm.
So, in my opinion, stop sitting on your hands and get yourself a truck. That's just, Marwan, my position here and what I see and what's going on around us, right? So look, there's a simple two-step process to freedom, financial freedom here. And that is save or borrow 75,000. Step 2, buy a truck. Be a partner in a truck. That's it.
Yeah.
Because
I think though, Marwan too,
history repeats itself, and
Yeah.
we know what the last 7 months have performed for the new trucking partners, and we know where it's headed. So that's just my 2 cents.
I have to, I have to agree with one thing, and it is that, utilize any kind of 0% money that you're
Oh,
available
yeah.
and invest it into any kind of, profit making opportunity,
Well, it's
right? I
available,
mean,
sure.
don't go out there and take that, 0% offer and go buy yourself a car. That makes no
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
For personal use,
Yeah, one thing to mention
use it
too is
wisely.
like with the trucking, the good thing about the trucking is like we tried to get the 0% interest for Amazon. It is a little bit different with Amazon because you need to continue to keep buying inventory and keep utilizing that credit, and you don't really ever pay it off because you want to build that credit up with Amazon and you want to keep compounding that money. Where within trucking, and it's just it's a cash flow that is ongoing for three years, and then you're able to pay down that credit card and get that utilization down faster than you are with like Amazon or an e-commerce store or other things where you have to keep on using the card to get that compounding effect.
Yeah,
Does that make
I
sense?
agree.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was also going to add though, I mean, if you're using this program that you guys are offering, like you said, you could use different EINs. So as long as you're using a different EIN, that should not go back to the personal, right? So it doesn't matter what cards you got through Fund and Grow. This is going to be a whole separate set of cards that you're getting, and you could get a set, you could do multiple businesses with it. So it shouldn't affect those, and then you could still use those. You could still balance transfer those balances from your other cards onto these, but they should, as long as they're not going anything off your personal, they should never see any of those other cards that you.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I did say jokingly earlier, but absolutely, that is it. You can open up another business, 1, 2, 3, and just rinse and repeat the process.
Yeah, that's a great part about this is, I have got 3 businesses, and we're going through the process on one. I'm going to get another one started here soon, and eventually I'll have 3 different businesses going through this whole process. And it's well worth the $3,500 that someone's going to pay, because to get that 0% interest that's not on your personal, it's going to save you that tenfold over the next 5 to 10 years. Because you're going to continue to utilize it and to get into cash flowing opportunities and things like that. But just the simple fact that it's not a personal guarantee and that you can have multiple businesses on this is huge.
So, and they don't regulate, how you use your card. So I'm not gonna sit there and tell you you're using one for another business. They have no idea. So you can use it as deemed fit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now,
And
the question is, you said, Luis, you said that because this is only on your EIN, so your utilization doesn't really matter. So you're saying that if you use one of the cards and you're using 80% of it, you can still get another card and they wouldn't check your utilization?
Correct.
Correct.
Not a negative
So-
impact.
correct. So utilization only impacts you on personal credit. Utilization is not a factor in business credit. Zero.
Same thing with as many trade lines, you know, like just with personal credit, if you have too many trade lines open, it's a negative impact. Not the case with business credit.
Correct. So understand that business credit, there's only one factor that can negatively impact you. That's late payments. That's it.
Late payments. That's good to know.
Yeah, inquiries doesn't matter on business credit. Why?
Late.
Business credit is public. You know, I could, you know, if I have $6.40 burning a hole in my pocket, I can go and buy your credit profile and find out who I'm working with. Okay, just as an investment type of, you know, situation. Business credit is public. I can go to DMV, I can go to Experian, I can go to Equifax and buy your business credit. As long as I have your EIN number, and actually, I don't even need your EIN number. Just need your the state you're registered in and your business name. That's it. And $6.40. So
Yeah.
inquiries isn't a factor in business credit, because obviously if anybody has access to it, it's unfair that you get penalized because someone checked your credit. It's public. And utilization doesn't matter. Why? Because everybody knows, including like the SBA, and you always have higher business expenses than personal expenses, you know, and business by normal under normal GAAP accounting procedures, okay, is actually reflects that, look, just charge through the month, and at the end of the month, you clean it up. So it's expected in a regular business model that you're going to, you know, you're going to utilize your credit available with the concept of paying it off once you collect your money, or obviously at the end of the statement cycle. So it's normal course of business to run your high utilization credit. As long as you're paying it, doesn't affect you. You can get more.
Yeah.
To add to that, if you said as long as you're paying it, but obviously if you have 0%, you could just make the minimum payment every month, and that wouldn't affect you, right?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, just milk it. You know, if you're getting 0%, why wouldn't you take advantage of it? You know, and milk it as long as you like. Absolutely.
And now, do you guys
the
have
effort of paying off a 0% rate? Right. I mean,
Free money.
now?
Exactly.
Do you guys have? This is, I guess, related, but because I'm just wondering what are the options, right? Keep applying for credit cards, keep applying for different LLCs, but with different EINs, or do you guys have like programs where it's like, I know credit cards is bad because if you don't have the 0%, you're talking 18, 20%, and very rarely can I find an investment that outpays that. But is there options with like, I don't know, 6%, 8% interest rate where I can borrow like a higher amount of money and do an investment with it?
Look, I gotta tell you, I don't want to mismanage your expectations.
Yeah.
If I'm going to tell you that I'm holding the secret credit card vendor that's going to charge you 6% interest rate while everyone else is charging you 20, I'd be just straight out lying to you. It doesn't work that way. Right?
I think he's asking though, like maybe
Nobody's offering.
like different kinds of loans or something like that. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm not talking credit card. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah, but then your
there's a
personal
lot
credit's going to play a factor.
I just
Correct.
left
There's a lot of loans out there. There's a lot of loans out there, but like I
right now. Fuck,
stipulated
I'm
earlier.
late, man. He was running late, so I was like, fuck it.
So there's a lot of
The bid, though.
business.
Hey, can you mute on him?
You
You guys on mute?
Christmas?
Can you
What
mute
you
him?
want to do for Christmas?
Here, I
Is
can.
that?
I'll claim host real quick and mute him out.
Yeah, I think I just did that, by the way, though.
Oh, did you? Okay, never mind. I'll give you the permissions back here.
Onaman, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I muted him. So going back to what you're saying, so earlier in the conversation, I'll let you know that, listen, if you're, business loans, 99% of the time, you're going to have to PG. Okay. Even if you have very well built out business credit, banks are going to require it. Okay. Now, there are banks that will only report that to the business credit and not on your personal credit. So even though you served as a PG, you got the benefits of having that report to your business credit and off of your personal credit, okay? Or never been on your personal credit. So that does help. But you do got to serve as a PG on 99% of all the loans that are out there.
Do you guys help?
But you would find.
Of course,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, the answer is absolutely yes, Marwan. We have term loans. We can help you acquire SBA loans that have real traditional bank, rates. It all depends on where your profile fits.
And look, and just to piggyback off of what Donnie is saying, we also have there's banks that you guys have never heard of that love these big dollar deals, right? We're talking, 5, 10, $50 million deals. I don't think there's anybody on this call that needs a 50 million. Well, I think we all need a $50 million loan, but yeah, we have these large that are just not as well known or not as popular. We just don't see them on a day-to-day basis. But there's so many lenders out there that will still request you to serve as a PG, good financials, all that fun stuff, but not report it to your personal credit, just under the business.
Yeah. Does anybody
What-
else have any questions?
Sorry, just related to that, this is the last thought, is what would usually serve as a PG? I'm guessing like your net worth, your properties, your car.
Sure. So well, when we're talking about a collateralized type of loan, and yes, on the really big institutional type of loans, some collateral has to be involved. But PG is referring to personal guarantor. So that means person behind it, right? That person, when it comes to collateral, needs to have, X amount of, assets that would be able to, secure the loan, right? And they would put a lien on those items, right? And then you have unsecured loans that even though it's unsecured, you don't have to back it up with any kind of assets. You're still serving as a PG, as a personal guarantor.
Yeah, I think there's a
Like,
question in here.
when you're
go ahead.
personal self, you have to serve as a PG, like your personal self.
Yeah, PG is your personal self.
Personal guarantor.
Yep. Chris had a
Meaning
question.
putting your credit at risk.
Yep.
So here's a very interesting question. Something actually we didn't touch on before, and I will take the opportunity to do it now. So Chris's question is, how many rounds of funding the contract includes, or how often we expect the funding? So there's two sides to this question that I want to answer. But first of all, we don't use terms as rounds, because that term is only used at Fund and Grow, because to them, it's not how many rounds, it's how many opportunities we have to charge you. Okay, so let's be clear. They charge you a fee for the amount of money they get you. Okay. The nice thing about our program is that there are no rounds, because you buy the program once, the directory is there, you get the support of the credit advisor. Now, fair enough to say, it doesn't mean that the credit advisor is at your beck and call every day and you're going to have a 1-hour consultation with your credit advisor every day. No, that doesn't work that way. These are pre-programmed appointments that we understand at certain intervals. We are getting back with that client once the credit has, gone to its next cycle. So we're going to see the evolve, right? We see the next credit. So let's get it back on the phone. Let's look at what's here, what's missing, what do we need to do before our next, right? That's how that's done. But there's no rounds, guys. We're not going to charge you like Fund and Grow a percentage of the amount to get you. So earlier it was Darwin, got 200 grand. Well, that was a great payday for Fund and Grow, because what they
No,
charge, which is on
I don't
average of
I don't think Fund and Grow actually does that. They just charge on the front end on Fund and Grow. Fund Wise on the other, there's a couple other ones, but Fund and Grow just does 3,500. But they do a time limited. You get 1 year to get funding for that 3,500, and then if you pass that year, then you have to pay the 3,500 again.
Oh, okay. So
But
Fund
just
and
to
Grow
clarify, and I'm gonna cut you, but just to clarify, when we're saying this is per EIN. You don't get multiple EINs to enroll into the program.
Yeah. Yep.
Just want to clarify that.
and that it's also, PG based. Everything on Fund and Grow
Yep.
is PG based, right? Okay.
So with this,
So-
Lewis, you could just kind of say that, as you go through the business funding, your credit advisor, let's say you get, 9 months, the 9-month mark, you get $200,000. And then maybe they'll reevaluate another 3 months from now and see how you're doing and see if maybe you can go for another 10 or 20 or 50 grand. And they'll just kind of look at the situation you're in throughout the time that you're doing this.
On the servicing side, it's geared in a way where, not only are we doing the heavy lifting for you initially, which is really all the grunt work, paperwork, and all that kind of stuff, and updating stuff, but it gets to a point where it's pretty simple, right? Like once we got your foundation down right, and it's reporting everywhere, and it's congruent all over the place, it's pretty easy to apply. Okay, like you could come and for example, you see on our system, I mean, we literally put the apply button on each vendor. I'm sorry, it's a little slow. So, Citizens Bank, if you're at a point that you're already on step 6, you're qualifying for these type of vendors, right? Well, just hit apply. It's pretty easy at that point, right? That's why I'm saying that a lot of clients, it gets to a point that we build out that first round, if you want to call it that, right? And there's going to be two avenues you're really going to go down. The one is that you just want more and more and more. So just continue going down this route, right? There's going to be plenty of vendors. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not sharing my screen anymore, or am I? Sorry. So, sorry about that. I totally forgot that. So let me just get back here. So it gets to a point where you're just, at this point, you can just simply click apply and it'll take you right to this vendor. Okay, and you can apply. And at that point, you pretty much know already all the basic information. It's an application that's dedicated only to a business's EIN. So it's pretty much easy to fill that out. And that's what I said before. A lot of our clients, we can notice when they literally log in, they haven't been in there for 6 months, they log in and, they just grab another vendor and do what they have to do. So in that process, we're teaching you how to do this, right? The main work, the main grunt work is really the first kind of 3 months as we're building out that foundation and all that fun stuff. From there, it's pretty self-explanatory. Now, the second thing that you can also do is this, and our credit advisors do help you with this. So let's say you don't want more credit cards. All you really want to do is just increase your limits on your existing cards that now you've already have been able to acquire. Okay. And that part is easy. In some cases, the credit card vendors will be asking, well, show me some financials, right? Show me your tax returns. In other cases, as long as everything is fine, you're moderately using your card and you're paying them on time and nothing too crazy, you can always expect a credit increase. So there's two ways to go that: get new cards or just get increases on your existing cards at that point.
We see people do that even with the store cards. We'll have a client that's well beyond the 6 steps, and we'll see them log in and start applying for Home Depot cards, a year and a half later, just because they have a need for that, for a job they're working on.
Yep. Yep.
Marwana has a question here. So, what do you guys do, and what do you guys do and don't do for your clients? So, there's certain things that obviously we can't do. What do I mean by that? Something maybe just as common, especially in the beginning, when we're setting up like your Duns and Bradstreet profile and getting into your Duns manager. Well, Duns and Bradstreet is not gonna just let us have access to your system, right? They're gonna, send you a link, and those occasions we actually do that on our scheduled consult, and we tackle a few things. That's just one of them. But on that call, there's a few minutes that we need your involvement in, right? We need your personal information, not sensitive like social, but just security questions that Duns and Bradstreet will give us just so that we can access your Duns manager. There'll be other situations where a vendor will literally apply with you on our screen share, just like we are right now. And, we could do the application. We've already got all your information, but they'll ask us certain things like, hey, what's the social? Not because they're checking a credit, but because they're just being compliant with the Patriot Act, which is a big issue. So you got to provide that information. Now, we're not holding on to that information. You're seeing as I enter it, but that's what we do. We update your EIN, we update your SOS. I mean, we do go very granular, Marwan. I don't know if that's what you were referring to.
No, I think Chris, what's Chris asking too is that, Chris, we have many different packages. We have bundled packages where you can get, your virtual address, phone, and website all in one. We have, individual plans, so we have customized plans for everything that you need. We even build out websites for you.
Yeah, I think some of this stuff is like included. Like if you do need a website, like what's some of the stuff that maybe Louis, you can bring up that the My Company Credit website that kind of shows the different packages and what you guys do. That might be helpful.
Pull it up.
But I think things like setting up a virtual address, potentially helping you get the virtual address, helping you set up the LLC is some stuff that's included in this package. If you need help with that, these guys can help with that.
Yeah, so let's get into that. I'm so sorry, guys. I guess I kind of did misunderstand the question. So let's say that you like what you hear, you're great. Okay, I just don't have another entity. Look, we don't even charge you for that. If you're going to sign up for the program and you need just help setting up the entity and getting an EIN, listen, our team, we do this every day. It literally takes us 10 minutes to set up an entity and to get you an EIN. And we do it literally with you on a screen share.
Yeah.
Most of these companies out there that do
$200-300.
that as a service will charge you, a few $100 at the bare minimum.
At
I'll see
least.
even higher. Go
Sure.
to like what's it called? Rocket Lawyer, all this stuff. It's the easiest thing in this world to do. It's even embarrassing for me to say I would charge somebody. I wouldn't. Now, there are state fees, okay, that you do have to pay. So, in other words, if I go to Florida Secretary of State for an LLC, is $125. If it's a corporation, it's $70. If it's Texas, it's $300. That you do have to pay. That's a state fee. EIN, there's no cost to that, and then literally I do it right in front of you, and in 10 minutes, you have your EIN letter. And no, I don't charge you for that. Is there a special price for a second or third corp LLC? So, Chris, if there's a special price on our package,
Yeah, we can talk about that. Like, I think we can
Yeah.
give discounts for, second and third options for sure. Yeah. We can talk about that on the side for sure.
yeah, definitely. Anton will give you those different examples. Absolutely. Marwan asked a question here. Do you call banks and negotiate for the client or ask on credit increase on behalf of the client? What's the fund and grow? That's what fund and grow does. Yes, I mean that part is easy, guys. And we were saying that like there's two forks in the road. Once you're already at step 6, that you're already getting all these cards on your EIN. You can either get more cards or we can get you increases, right? So we'll communicate with the bank. We'll find out exactly what they need, what they require for them to issue a credit increase. And we do that all on your behalf. And obviously, we'll go back to you. Hey, Marwan, I need this document from you or that document.
Sometimes for those calls, we do need the client with us because they will ask some security questions. That's all.
Correct. All right, Darwin. Listen, I really appreciate your time here. Everyone else, we're still here. So getting back to Chris, yeah, definitely get with Anton and Eric and see what kind of discounts they could give you on your second and third options. And again, if you guys need for us to just set up the entity for you and everything concerning virtual packages and all that stuff, I'm not sharing my screen. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. This is good information here. This is good.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I want to share something after you're done with this too.
Sure, absolutely. So, we've always noticed, again, like business owners are busy running their business and they don't understand all the intricate things that banks are looking for that are meeting bank credibility standards. So it got to a point that instead of us simply sending off our client, that business owner, oh, yeah, well, you need a website and you need this on your website, or you need a business phone line that's not your cell number. We noticed that it took them a long time to do that. And it got to a point where we're like, look, we can offer all these packages ourselves. We have the team to do it for them, and literally, get things done overnight
And it's
and
actually
move
cheaper.
on to the next step. And it's actually cheaper. So I'm just scroll down. I'm gonna show you a few of the packages that we offer, and we broke it down in packages just simply because it's the basics of what every single package meets bank credibility standards, but then you can take it that one level up. So with like a really functioning website with lead capture forms, web chat bot, booking, and calendar. If you add all these things up that you have to purchase, they're called widgets. You're definitely over $100 on your website per month. So our starter package, includes a domain. We set up the whole domain. We handle the hosting. Literally, it's hands off on the client. So going back to what you're asking, if how much do we do? Well, this totally hands off. You just literally agree on, hey, I love that template. Do that. Our team does it. Gets you a phone line. Gets you your entity. Gets you your EIN. Gets you your website. Everything. So starter package is $397 and $97 a month. Our essentials plan, because we've realized that there's also a lot of clients that we have that has a home-based business, so they need a virtual address. They work off of their cell phone. They need a functioning business line so it can be registered with the National 411 database. So we have this plan in here, which basically includes everything on the starter plan, plus gets you a virtual address, plus gets you a business phone line. And just a handful of other stuff, missed call, text back. And then there's a premium feature where this is now next level stuff. SEO optimization. So, we make sure that your website ranks very well on the pages, gets as quickly as with everything organic, obviously, right? Just meeting all the kind of like the finer details that Google is asking for, so you rank higher on their pages on their search engine. Reputation management is also part of this, where you can get people to say, "Hey, they did a great job for me," and that helps you with your ranking as well, and helps you manage that. And Yeah, even a Google My Business chatbot. So when somebody searches for you on Google, in your general area, they can literally, instead of just visiting your website or just calling you, they can literally have a chat within Google that's really coming from you guys, and it's all automated, it's all AI. So there are different plans that we offer. Let's say that this is way too comprehensive, you don't need all this stuff. Let's say you just need a virtual address. Well, just click right here. We'll get you that. It's a lot cheaper. But anyway, we offer these plans to make it as easy and convenient for you to meet banking credibility guidelines, get your entity set up and running, create a business credit profile, and in a period of 8 months or so, we got you where you're already getting Visas, Mastercards, American Express, with limits ranging from $10,000 to $20,000 per card, where you can literally walk into your dealership and buy a pickup truck just under your EIN. You never even had to give them you only got to give them your driver's license to say, "I'm authorized to drive off the lot with this car."
And you could take one of those cards, wrap it with your company logo. Now you got free advertising, marketing.
Moneymaker. Oh, and the funny part is the deduction now that you also have, because in addition to deducting the vehicle as a business expense, you could deduct a cost on that marketing aspect as well. And really high point guys here, if you guys want immediate savings, like literally now, this is a business expense. Our program is a business expense. Anybody looking for a deduction, get this program before the year is over. You got until the 31st, because this is a deduction.
Yeah.
Add into about Yext, the new program that new platform we just installed.
Yes. So that's a part that, yeah, Donnie, thanks for bringing that up.
Of course,
So
good bonus.
automatically, every business that enrolls, we actually sign you up with Yext. That's YEXT. Now, this is the system that we use so that we can update your information over 100 different platforms, right? Not only on the banking side of things and underwriting stuff, but just regular stuff, Google, Bing, Yahoo. These are platforms underwriters look at to make sure that your business is legitimate. And again, the information has to be congruent. If you go on the Yext website, you'll see that this package is over $1,000. Okay. We actually provide it to you guys for free for the first 3 months. And that's all you really need, right? You just
That's
need to
awesome.
update all your information.
Yeah.
You just need to update that information. It's
valuable.
there, it's done, and you saved yourself $1,000.
Yep. Yep. That's amazing. Very cool.
Any other questions? I don't
One,
know.
one thing about like, let's say you do have a business that's been around for years and you've got revenue, does that speed up any of this process potentially, where maybe you could start getting some of these bigger lines sooner than the 6 to 8 months or whatever?
Sure. A perfect example actually is one of your clients. I was actually on the phone with him just a couple of days ago myself personally. Wesley. Wesley has an established business. He has zero credit profile when we were first talking, literally about a month ago. And when I was on the phone with him just 2 days ago, pops up. He did get a Ford vehicle the other day, and it is popping up on his business credit profile. I confirmed it. It was, he got it through Ford Motor Credit and Ford Commercial Credit, which is their partner. They did the deal. Pops up. Great. But this guy has no trade lines, has no net 30 accounts, no nothing. Okay. So I said, hey, you know what? With this trade line, let's just go ahead and apply for a fleet card. Why not? And he literally just yesterday sent me the approval notification. We did it with him right online, did the application. And guys, I'm not a good typist. After 30 years, I still type fairly slow. But after 10 minutes, application was done. He got a confirmation email and it said, hey, we'll reach out to you within the next, 48, 72 hours. And he literally the following morning sends me forwards me the email confirmation that he was approved. And yeah, that's just a fleet card, but keep in mind, a fleet card typically happens 90 to 120 days after
Into
you
the
get into a
process, yeah.
program with a zero credit profile. In his case, you know, it was less than 30 days. It's a functioning business, producing revenue, and easy enough to prove. So big difference.
Yeah. Yep. And
You know,
I will say to everybody that's on the call, so Eric and I, we have had our business for almost 3 years now. And, you know, Lewis got on and he showed us our Duns and Bradstreet like profile. And, you know, Eric and I were going out and trying to acquire credit. We've had great revenue over the last 3 years, and we just have had a hell of a time trying to get credit just because of simple things like our address on our Duns and Bradstreet was different than what it is on, you know, our, you know, EIN or our tax documents, and just a number of different things that we didn't even know or didn't even think about, and why we were getting denied. And then, you know, if anybody does decide to move forward, do not have anything having to do with business financing on your website, because that's an automatic decline. So we were getting declined because part of our TED Talks automation website is, you know, business financing. Well, every time we applied, it was decline, and we had no idea why, and they wouldn't tell us why either, which was kind of even more frustrating. I just kind of add that, you know.
Yeah, and
Yeah, no, I actually say that in my presentations. You're absolutely right, Anton. When you apply for these business credit cards, all the answer is you didn't meet banking credibility guidelines. Well, that's great, but there's over 150 of them. Which one was it that I didn't meet? So that's why it either takes 2 to 5 years to accomplish, or you sit there and you provide your social security number just to secure that approval.
And one thing we're talking about, guys, just to kind of bring this up too. So a lot of the people that are, you know, looking at this or, you know, seeing this for the first time that maybe, you know, wants to get business credit, but they don't have a business. We're floating around some ideas right now of providing different business opportunities for you for free, where we provide you with a website. We provide you with like an affiliate type of deal where we offer different products and services that you can, you know, you can use if you want to. And we'd able to set that all up for you. And it's actually a cash flowing business if you want to promote it. Maybe you get business credit and you want to put the money towards advertising the opportunities that we supply with you, whether it be, you know, we've got a lead business, we got a marketing company, we have a whole back end system with software that does a lot of things with Go High Level that we can provide you with a whole. We can get into that later, but there's opportunity for those of you who do not have a business that want to, you know, start a business and want to get business credit, that we can supply you guys with, you know, a kind of a turnkey business on the back end. And I think Lewis and I talked about that a little bit and some ideas that we got going with that too. So
yeah, definitely something to launch in the very first year.
yeah.
Well, look, I have to, guys, I have to step away. I apologize. I actually, believe it or not, going into another consult. Work late. Business owners, I got to work on the business owner schedule. So I have to step away. But is there any final questions? Maybe while I'm still here, I can answer real quick. If not, Anton, you're gonna have to take over hosting.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody has any
else,
questions. I
guys?
think maybe Eric and I can try to answer any questions anybody else has, or Donald, if you want to answer, you're more than welcome to hop in here. But yeah, if anybody on the call wants to just chat and talk about anything, we'll be here for as long as you guys want.
And in my case, guys, I'm gonna just sign off. I have an 8:30 I'm going into. Guys, I look forward to it. I'll be available in about 30 to 45 minutes. So if you guys have any other questions lingering around and you guys need me, I'm here.
You're the best,
moving
man.
forward, you know, anybody can get in touch with us through Anton or directly with her.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Appreciate it, you guys. Thank you guys very much.
Take care, Lewis. Thank you.
All right. Cool. Does anybody have any questions or thoughts about the call? Anyone? Bueller?
I believe I missed the commission piece. How much
Yes.
being paid in commission to,
Yep.
refer this service and process to others?
Yep. So were you invited by Michael?
Sure was.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming, man. Yeah. So So it's you can sign up as an affiliate. We're looking right now. We're looking at doing a 2-level affiliate program. We haven't set that up yet. Right now, it's just 1 level. So if you signed up as an affiliate, you'd get 20% of the commission. Before you do that, since you came in through Michael and Michael is one of our affiliates, let's make sure that we get that 2-level set up so that you can sign up under him. But first levels, and the 20% might change, or we might keep it the same. We haven't figured out those commission levels yet, but if you signed up for an affiliate under us right now, it's 20%. But we'll get back to you on that, and we can fill you in and the details. It's very, very soon, probably right after the first of the year, we can get you rolling.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Is that fair? Does that make sense?
No, yeah, perfectly. That way, we can keep the sponsorship line intact.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm all about that, man. I'm very familiar with that type of business, so I want to make sure that Michael's taken care of. A great guy. We're glad we met him.
And Diamond, I think you weren't supposed to put the word "not" in there. I think I'm definitely curious about the affiliate.
He's one of mine too. I'm excited too.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
yeah, and if you guys want anybody that's on the call with Michael, if you want to create like a WhatsApp chat or a Facebook Messenger room, we can we can do that, and we can all have communication with that.
Yeah.
And moving forward, if any questions pop up, just write them down, and we can always circle back and answer any questions anyone has.
Yep. I saw somebody else pop in that maybe wanted to ask a question. Diamond, did you pop on for a second here?
Yeah, no, Diamond was just laughing that she put the word "not."
Oh, I gotcha. I'm just not curious about the affiliate. Yeah, we'll definitely keep in touch on that. Yeah. So yeah, we'll have something shortly after the first of the year on that for you guys.
And just to add into that too, any affiliates and stuff, we offer training, support material, everything to make sure you guys are successful.
Yep. And I will tell you guys, like working with Donald and Lewis, just over this short period of time, they've been awesome. I mean, I'll message Lewis at 10 at night and he'll answer me. But yeah, these guys are great to work with. We're really excited to work with you, Donald. This has been awesome process so far. We're excited.
Likewise, we agree 100%.
Yeah. And then once you do, actually, when you do become an affiliate, there's so many advantages, and it's just such an easy thing for you to talk about to people, because I honestly feel like, a kid coming out of college, the first thing they should do is start an LLC and, get business credit. That's, this is for everybody, which is a really easy sell. And I shouldn't say sell, but an easy thing to talk about and to get people into.
I've literally gotten clients just from being at the gym and, sitting next to somebody talking about what their business is and, asking if they've ever heard of business credit, and got into a conversation and got the phone number and they signed up that week.
Yep. And if you do have a business, the other companies that we work with and other partnerships that we have, we have a whole back end system that does about every single thing you can think of for a business, whether it be, getting leads for the business, creating websites, communication, being able to, have a communication with all of your clients or your partners, where everything is one place, where whether they're, chatting with you on Instagram or Facebook or email or text, it all comes into one place. So we have a whole backend system that we can have another call on that is pretty awesome. So if you have any existing business, it's a platform that we use that is just unbelievable. I'll just say it's called Go High Level. So we have a whole back end system with Go High Level that we can, brand things for you. We can, so many different tools. It takes credit card payments. You can send invoices in there.
So powerful.
Eric, what else does it do? I don't even know. Donald, you probably know.
Yeah, I mean, just the workflows you can put in there, the automation, the way it aligns with every other, system out there.
Yep.
Super powerful.
Yep. So awesome. Anybody here use Go High Level that's on the call? I'm curious. I just learned about it not too long ago, but about a year ago, I think we learned about it.
I'm familiar with it, but I don't use it. I had a different platform I was using, but I heard a lot of good things about it.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
growing every day, man. They're blowing that thing up. They're installing and adding new features and functions every day to make it, more user friendly and just more powerful.
Yep, yep. And our team, we help you set it up. You call it a snapshot. So whatever business you have, our team will help you develop your whole back end, go high level. We'll help you add things, make sure you set up correctly. Make sure, like, if you are doing a drip campaign, you have a customer come in as a new lead. You can create different instances where, go from new lead to booked appointment to orientation, then to, there's so many awesome things. I mean, if we didn't have Go High Level with our business right now, we'd be lost. I mean,
Sure.
it's a lifesaver. It is absolutely
It's
amazing.
so great at lead generation, nurturing. I mean, all you have to do is just upload a list of data, and I mean, it does the work for you.
Yeah, and we just talked to a couple of guys yesterday, I think. Now we're working with them now. They're familiar with Go High Level, but now they brought in the whole AI chat thing where you can literally have conversations with all of your clients through AI. You don't even have to conversate with them. It just automatically responds to them. It learns, it has empathy. It's pretty wild. Yeah, it's self-taught. It's wild. And these guys are pretty awesome. So we're going to be implementing those guys as well. So a lot of really cool things going on the back end of everything we're doing here on top of this, where we're almost it's kind of a business in a box where, you start your business, you get the funding, and now we can help with everything else on the back end of your business to help you succeed, which is pretty fantastic.
And you hit it right on the head. I mean, it's literally a business in a box, a turnkey solution. All you got to do is, once you sign up, literally we give you all the tools to be functioning within a day or two.
Yep.
And on the other side of all this too is we have the lead gen side of it too, so we can actually generate the leads for the business too. So we've got that whole side built out too, and then we can you can have the AI conversing with these leads to warm them up into an actual sales call or whatever. There's so many options to make it very easy for somebody to start a business, or if they have an existing business in anything they do, we can get leads into those industries too. So
yeah, and even for this too, once you become an affiliate for, Business Finance Pros, and you can buy leads for this, I mean, you could bring in leads for this. And we didn't mention too that we have closers on the back end. You don't even need to take the calls. They do charge, I think, Donald, $350?
15% of the sale price.
So 15% of the sale price the closer will get, but they handle everything for you. So you can just basically, pay for the leads, bring them in, and then the closers will close them for you, which is pretty
What
awesome.
he means by that is, as opposed to, hiring, training, figuring out your own compensation package, having that rotating chair of, the right guy, you can literally just plug in and play to our existing sales team and utilize them, who are fully versed, well experienced. They know how to take these from beginning to end, and you only pay them 15% on any enrolled client.
Nice. Chris just asked, when are you going to make Tinder automation? It's funny you said that. It's funny you said that because what's that thing where you can go on and you can pay people?
Yeah, OnlyFans.
There's an OnlyFans automation I just saw. That was
who were we talking to? Somebody was just talking about that.
it was the marketing guy that was doing marketing for
yeah. Yeah.
Can only imagine that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly how that works, but
Exactly.
we might have to look into it. We'll see. So awesome. Anybody have any other thoughts, questions? All right.
Email, so let's go ahead and fill in the necessary information, get this thing rolling.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we'll keep in touch, my man, and we'll get you rolling. I think we're getting you rolling here today, or
yeah, I just emailed you, Sake, while we were on this call. I emailed you everything, so you should have it in your email to get.
Right. One last thing we didn't touch on is as an affiliate tool too. You get an affiliate manager, so you're able to track your clients, seeing what's going on with them, what the progress is with them. We're very automated here, so anytime we so much as even sneeze on a client, their profile, you guys are getting an alert about that. So every step of every stage and every step towards the the opportunity, you guys get notified in real time.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the Go High Level, that's what that does, right? That you're talking
Correct.
about, the back end of Go High Level. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty powerful system. It's amazing.
Cool.
Awesome.
Okay, well, listen, everybody, it was a pleasure to have everyone here. We had a great turnout. I appreciate everyone's time. I wish everyone happy holidays, and we look forward to aligning in the new year, if not sooner.
Awesome. Thanks, Donald. Appreciate it. And Michael, start a little chat with all of us that are on this call with us, and then we'll get everybody situated and answer any questions they have. And after the new year, we'll get everybody situated with affiliate links that need those.
Gotcha.
Appreciate everyone. Have a great one.
Awesome. You guys have a great night and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Right.
I got you.
Later.